MAKEUPBYNKIRU is a foremost makeup service provider with a well-grounded and fully equipped makeup school that is second to none in teaching the concept of makeup at its finest, with about half a decade experience in teaching and grooming makeup artists nationwide. For more free videos on how to do your makeup, visit our Facebook page www.facebook.com/MAKEUPBYNKIRU, or you can call 080-533-14799.
Hi, I am Dr. Nkiru Nama, and you're welcome to my Makeup ABC tutorial. If you want to learn the foundational basics of beauty, enabling you to achieve your personal makeup at a professional level every day, then you're definitely watching the right video. Over the years, I've met so many women of various ages and different backgrounds, and one thing I find common is they all want to look fabulous, glamorous, and very pretty. And you can definitely achieve this with makeup. But hey, if you don't do it right, it can achieve an otherwise look. Alright. It can be very overwhelming sometimes when you think about makeup, because there's so many products out there, so many choices to make. You know, it can take about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even 2 hours to achieve that perfect look. But you're going to follow me step by step through the processes of the Makeup ABC tutorial. You're going to learn to achieve your makeup without stress. I'm going to be taking you through a couple of tools that you're going to need to use to achieve a good makeup look. I'll be starting out with the brushes. The powder brush. The powder brush is usually fuller than all the other brushes, and this is so you can have a soft diffuse matte finish. The blush brush. This is for applying your blush. You can also use it to apply your bronzer. It's also slightly full, but not as full as the powder brush. This is so that when you're applying your colors, it doesn't come out too intense. The foundation brush. If you notice, the foundation brush looks a bit different from the other brushes. This is because it's quite flat and the bristles are together. You know, this helps you achieve control when you're applying your foundation, and it helps your foundation blend in quite smoothly, and that would give you a natural look. You know, sometimes when you don't use the foundation brush, many times I would say you can use your hands. Don't be afraid to get your hands messy. Actually, your hands help you to achieve a very natural look because the heat from your hands helps to warm up the product, and that helps the foundation blend in more smoothly. This looks like a toothbrush, right? No, it's actually a brow brush. You see, the brow brush, because it's like a toothbrush, it helps you brush out your brows and gets them in place. This helps you, discover how your brows should fall in place so that you can fill out your brows appropriately. Shadow brushes. Shadow brushes are usually, if you look at it, it actually almost looks like the foundation brush, but it's like a smaller version of it, and the bristles are together, they're flat. This helps you get shadow placement appropriately. You might need at least 3 shadow brushes to cover your lid, your crease, and the underbrow area. The crease brush. The crease brush helps you contour your crease appropriately. Don't worry, when you watch me contour the crease later on, you get to understand how to apply your shadow with the crease brush. And then we have the blending brush. The blending brush has softer bristles, almost looks like a shadow brush, but you find out it's softer, and this helps you soften harsh lines and helps you blend in colors so that you don't have one shadow, having a strict margin between that shadow and another shadow placement on the eye. Now we have the lip brush. The lip brush is very firm. It's smooth when you touch it. It helps you apply your lipstick, your lip gloss, and it helps you blend in your lip liners. Now with this set of brushes, you can actually achieve a very professional look. We're going to be working on Nneka's eyebrows. Now, eyebrows are very key to the way the rest of the face looks. Eyebrows completely define the face. There are certain principles that we work with when we're doing the brows. and we're going to be watching me apply those principles to achieve perfect brows. To start out the brows, we're going to have to brush up and out just to see what you're working with. The next thing we want to do is to shapen her brows. Already they've been done, previously, but not quite right. You still have some hairs that we have to deal with over here. So what we're going to do is very gently, using the brow razor, we'll just take off the extra hairs. And then you have a neat edge. We're not quite finished at this point. We're still going to have to use a brown pencil to fill out her brows. So brush up a little bit, look above the brows. If there are any extra hairs that come out, you just trim them off a bit. This helps to further define the brows. Now I want you to take note of something. This is a dimension that once you follow, no matter whose eyebrows you're trying to get fixed, it will always work. Divide your brows into 3 equal parts. The first 2 parts would indicate where you're going to have your arc. So when you're taking out your hair, gradually rising, at this point, the first 2/3, you begin to gradually come down. There should never be a harsh rise and a harsh fall. It's always a gradual process up to that point, and then you come down. Now we're going to use a brown pencil to fill out Nneka's brows. Brown, because brown is it's natural. But if you use a black pencil, you're going to end up looking a bit fake and almost like a turn off. Notice that at the beginning of the brow, you should use lighter strokes so that you don't have a harsh start. And so we'll gradually fill out Nneka's brows. Just go to those areas that need some hair. And then you apply your pencil. You don't want to have it looking too waxy. Now take note of the fact that at this point you can see that Nneka's brows are quite scanty, so I'm going to need to fill it out a little bit more, and I must make sure my pencil is very sharp at that point. So I'm getting my arc there, and then I'm coming down. Just gradually thin it out properly, so you get to this point and then you gradually come down. When we are approaching the eyes, we want to take cognizance of 3 areas: her lid, her crease, and her underbrow area. When we're applying our shadows, we're going to apply our shadows in these 3 areas. Before I start applying my shadows, I know you'll be thinking, why am I starting out with the eyes and not the face? I like to start making up the eyes first because of shadow fallouts. Shadow fallouts are those things that you see underneath the eyes after you're done making up the eyes. They're actually from very shimmy shadows that end up messing up the rest of the face. So if I have already done my foundation, I don't like to deal with the mess, so I just start out with the eyes. In applying shadow to the eyes, first of all, I like to prime my eyes with a little bit of foundation. Now, the foundation I apply helps my shadows blend in more smoothly. No, it's not necessarily for coverage. It's just to allow my shadows have something to rest on. For Nneka's complexion, I've decided to use a warm bronze shade over her lids. So I'm using my shadow brush and I'm going over Nneka's lids with my shadow. We're going to do the same thing over the other lid. Alright, okay, so now we've gotten our lid covered with the warm bronze tone. Okay, now we're going to work on Nneka's crease. To contour her crease, I'm going in with, initially I'm going to go in with a warm red. But take note of something, the shadow I used on her lid is not as shimmery as the shadow I'm using in her crease. Usually we don't put in so much shine, we don't put in shine in the crease. Okay, we have drier, more matte shades of shadows. Sorry, drier, more matte types of shadows in our crease. Okay. Make sure you blend in appropriately. You can see that blends into the bronze. I'm using a blending brush here. I'm going to go further into contouring the crease with a darker shade of shadow using a crease brush. So I'm just going to go in there and blend. At this point you want to contour at the outer V. It's like this is one end of the V and this is another end of the V. So you're just going in like that and then you blend it in. I'm going to do the same thing in at the other outer V. And place first and then you blend. Smudge it there, fade it out. This is the V. You want to step back, make sure you have everything looking symmetrical. Now take note of the fact that some of the colors I'm using are my choice based on Nneka's complexion. But not to worry, the most important thing you must understand is that you should contour with a darker shade compared to the color on your lid. Now we're going to go to her underbrow area to highlight the underbrow. So we're highlighting under her brows at this point, and we're going to use, I like to use a cream foundation first. I know that sounds strange, but I like the results. So I'm using a cream foundation in a lighter shade compared to her complexion. And I'm just going to go under her brows and blend in. You must make sure that you do not have lines transiting from one shadow placement to the next shadow placement. So that's why I'm blending in at this point. Then I like to go a little bit of a highlight there. Just make sure that you don't use I don't like using yellow toned gold, gold shadows under the brows. I don't think it looks really nice. So I'd rather use a color that is more of this shade rather than yellow tone. If I want to reduce the shine, I go over with some powder, to just make it drier and more matte. Go over some powder and then I just blend. Your fingers can be very helpful when you're doing your makeup. Okay. Now we're going to go on with lining her eyes. I'm going to use a liquid liner now, and we want to stay as close as possible to her lash line. Make it as thin as possible, but as we gradually come out, you can get slightly fatter, and you can extend it as far as you'd want to, based on what effect you're trying to achieve. I just want you to note that when you're extending your liner, you should go in the direction that points towards the brows. I'm going to do it the same thing over here too. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to line her. We're going to line her waterline. Naka, can you open your eyes and look up? Exactly. Okay. So we can already see some of the fallouts I talked about earlier. We're going to deal with that later. We're just going to line her waterline. We're going to be using a black liner here. Can you look up? So we're going to go on with completing the look for the eyes. The next thing you want to do is to use some mascara. Open up the eyes a bit. So you just want to gently go in there. And this adds depth to your lashes, makes them look fuller. Could you look up, please? Okay, so I'm getting all the fallouts out of my way. Gently with a wet wipe. Taking a look to make sure that everything is well blended, and so we can go on from this point. For Neka, we have worked on her eyes. We sharpened her brows, filled out her brows with the brown pencil, and then we applied shadows to her eyes. We concentrated on her lids, contoured her crease, and highlighted under her brow area. And then went on to line her lash line, and then used some mascara. We also lined under her eyes with a black liner. So when you're applying makeup to the eyes, doing the simple things can make a lot of difference. What we're going to work on next is her face. I mentioned earlier that I like doing the eyes first so that I can clean out any fallouts. It's just easier for me. So for her face, we're going to be working on applying foundation, concealing, blushing, bronzing. When we're applying our foundation, there's some certain things we must make sure that we do. We must make sure we use the right color that would suit Neka. You must check that out under daylight, and we've already done that. So you're just going to watch me now while I apply the foundation and every other thing as we get Neka to that point where she looks beautiful. Okay, first things first. I like to use a primer, a foundation primer over the whole face. Now this helps my foundation go even more smoothly over her face when I'm applying my foundation. If you don't have a primer, I mean a moisturizer could just work as well as a primer, but using both of them would really make a lot of difference, or just using either. Okay, now I'm going to go under her eyes first with a foundation that's just a shade lighter. This helps to brighten up her eyes and conceal under her eyes. Can you look up, please? Making the right faces can really help with makeup application. Deca looking up this way helps me have appropriate reach to those areas under the eyes that I need to brighten up. Notice how I'm applying my foundation. I'm dabbing rather than rubbing. Okay, so that would help me get good coverage. Now I'll just fan this out, but then I'll dab here. Now we're going to go over the rest of her face with a foundation color that is more her skin color. But before I do that, I'm just going to use the same colors just at this T-zone of her face. But you see, you can actually apply foundation, there's just one color over your face and still have a really nice result. Okay, you might not have to go through the process of contouring this way, but I just like to do this a bit to give some more definition to her face. Alright, so we're going to go over the rest of her face with the foundation color that suits her skin color more. Notice that I'm blending it into the highlight under her eyes. Okay, and then I'm patting on. When you pat on, you get more coverage. Okay, so foundation is applied with the patting on motion. At the jawline, you don't want to go this way, but you want to go this way. Okay, so that you don't have a mask-like look. But over here, you want to also go into the hairline. You want to go into the hairline. It's like it just fades out into the hairline, so it doesn't look added on. She had some blemishes over here, and you know, when I can use my foundation to conceal, you know, I don't necessarily have to use a different makeup item. You can use your foundation as a concealer. When you apply more and pat on, or you apply a cream foundation which is thicker in consistency, you can get a smoother coverage. You can get a thicker coverage over that blemish, and so it doesn't show as much as it would have shown without it. Can you look up again, please? Just smoothing out this area. Step back, look at what you're doing, and make sure that you have a smooth and a natural looking blend of your foundation. So we've gotten our foundation placement. Now we're going to put some powder on her face. Can you look up again? So I'm just going to get some powder under her eyes. I'm using a powder that's I'm using a lighter shade of powder in the center of the face. And then I'm going to use something just a little bit darker at the sides of the face. So the powder is going to just give us a very nice matte finish. I like to dot some powder over my brows just to reduce the drawn on look, because I don't like having a drawn on look. I like a filled out natural look. So I'm going to step back again and see. Okay. I can use a smaller powder brush for some more. How did that come in? Okay. To add some warmth to Nneka's face, we're going to blush and bronze. Now, when you're blushing, you don't want to get so much color in this zone, but you're going to go this way. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Like, can you do that? Okay. Okay, so we're going in this direction. Okay, so I'm using some blush with like an orangey red undertone to add some warmth. So you're going in circular outer motions. And then you can go just over a little bit over it with a little bit of powder to just blend it in. Now we're going to apply some bronzer to just add some more warmth to her face. Nneka is going to smile, like she's already smiling, and then you're going to go for the apple of her cheeks and give us a smile again, and gently add some depth to I'm using a bronze shade, and I'm going to go over again with some powder to just make it look even more natural. So this is part of the face. We're just going to apply a little bit of bronzer to the tip of her nose just for some more definition. Okay. Put some powder over it, and that's about it. So far we've worked on her eyes, we've done her face, we've used foundation, some powder, and some blush on her face. Now we're going to go on with her lips. To start out with the lips, we're going to line her lips. Nneka, could you give me a firm smile? Yeah, let's firm up your lips. Yeah. So I like for my model to firm up their lips. And then I'm using a wine liner, gently blotting it out so that it's not so harsh. And then I'm lining the top part of the lip. Now when you line, you don't leave it standing out like that. Kind of like fade it in a bit so that when you apply your lip color, it's going to blend into your lip line. The lip line should never stand out. You can use a warm brown, or you can use a shade the same color of the lipstick or lip gloss you're going to be using for your lips. Whatever you do, you don't want the line to stand out in a very artificial way or in a very tacky way. I've chosen to use a red lip color for Neka. So I'm just going to fill out her lips with the color. On the top lip, I'm filling it out completely with red. There's so many ways you can apply lipstick. You can do a dry matte look. You can use some gloss. I'm going to use some gloss for Neka. For Neka's lower lip, I'm going to use the red just somewhere close to the line that I've put in already. But I'm going to do a two-toned lip. I'm going to highlight her lower lip to almost give me Neka's natural lip color, in the sense that her lower lip is lighter than her top lip. You don't have to do this every time. You can use one color all through, but this is what I want to do. So I'm using a lighter color of lipstick compared to the red I used originally. Now I'm just going to go over her lips with a transparent gloss, just to add some. Close again. Okay, now we're done with taking Neka from her beautiful natural self to her beautiful makeup natural self. Okay, so we've done her brows, we've done her eyes, her face, and her lips. And what we've done is to fill out her brows after shaping it with a brown pencil and a brow razor, and then we did her eyes with a warm bronze shadow, contoured her crease with darker shades, dry darker matte shades, and then we used our mascara for her lashes. We lined her eyes, lash line and waterline, and then we blushed and bronzed and applied foundation over her face, and then we went on to her lips and added a touch of color with a lipstick in a red shade and lip gloss, lip liner, and then we have Neka looking very pretty at this point. The link between health and beauty is the skin and what we eat. When I meet a lot of clients, they kind of complain about the same set of things, especially acne, or what we call pimples. And I realized that a lot of people address this issue in very weird ways. And so I'm just going to let you know exactly what you should be thinking about and what you should do with your acne. Now, acne can be caused by a particular bacteria called Propionibacterium acne. What happens is when our pores get clogged, this bacteria causes inflammation, and then we have all the swelling and the bumps. And also it's related to our hormonal levels and also our very, very oily skin. Because when we have our skin being very oily, it doesn't allow our skin cells shed off fast enough, and so we have our pores getting clogged. So what do? You can use benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide is an antibacterial that should be able to kill that bacteria. And then what can we do about our hormones? We can relax. Because sometimes our hormones get raged up when we're stressed out emotionally or physically. However, there's some things we do not have any control over, like our menstrual cycles, or when you're pregnant. At this point, your hormones can be quite imbalanced and you can end up breaking out. So what you can do is just wait through the process, but you can help to reduce the rate at which you break out by cleaning your face more often. When you wake up in the morning and you're having your bath, you get to clean your face. And when you're going back to sleep in the night, you make sure you wash your face. Do not ever sleep with your makeup on. Even in the afternoons, maybe you've had like a very sweaty day, a very oily day, you can wash your face also. This would help to reduce the oil and dirt that can clog your pores. If all of this doesn't work, you can go on to exfoliating. Exfoliating is really important. It can really help to clarify your skin and open up your pores. You can use a mechanical exfoliator like the facial scrub or even homemade granulated sugar. You can also go on to use chemical exfoliators like beta hydroxy acid and alpha hydroxy acid. Beta hydroxy acids are also called salicylic acid, and you'll notice that some of your products contain salicylic acid. That would help to go deep into the pores and clear out your skin. You can also go on to see a doctor if this doesn't work, because your doctor can then put you on some antibiotics that would help to kill the bacteria if it's not responding to the benzoyl peroxide. Retinoic acid, Accutane, are so many other things that can be done to achieve resolution for severe cystic acne. People keep complaining about their skin being so oily and then it wrecks the makeup, but guess what? If you can use an oil mattifier, you can help keep your makeup in place for a longer period. If you have dry skin, you can moisturize. Just get something that's going to go deeper and hydrate your skin a whole lot more. Your diet is really important also. You need to take lots and lots of water. Water helps to clean out your system. It's like an antioxidant. It would help you stay younger longer. You can also take a lot of fruits and vegetables. This would help. I know we've heard it over and over again, but really this works because they contain a lot of antioxidants that can help to keep your skin healthy. Again, the health, the wealth of your makeup is really tied to the health and the wealth of your body. So your makeup can only look as good as your diet and your skin.